This is the time of year when so many people start setting their plans for a home purchase or big move. Whether homebuyers are living in Austin proper or relocating from another state or city, everyone always asks what neighborhoods will be the best fit for them. If you're thinking about making a move this year, whether it be to Austin or honestly any part of Texas or the US, watch this video all the way through. I'm going to offer some advice to help you find the best type of neighborhoods that are going to best fit you and your lifestyle. Hi guys, I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin, Texas, and I work with people from all over the US and honestly all over the world who are wanting to buy a home in Austin or sell a home in Austin. If you are thinking about making a move, contact me. My contact information is in the description below. You can also set up a direct one-on-one Zoom call with me through that same description. I mean, the link is in the description, but whatever, that's how you can get in touch with me. Let's go. So like I said, here we are beginning a new year, and I think a lot of people are starting to think about what their home buying goals are, or even potentially selling a home in the near future. If you're thinking about buying a home, but not sure how to pinpoint the best neighborhood for you, watch this all the way to the end because I'm going to share the same information with you that I do with my home buying clients so that we find the perfect neighborhood and the perfect area for them to be in. So with that, let's jump in. First thing to think about and to consider is potentially talking to a lender. What a lender is going to do is they're going to look at your credit, they're going to look at your savings, they're going to look at your income, credit history, work, and also your down payment to see how much you have to put down on a home. I do understand though, if you are thinking about buying a home maybe 8, 9, 10 months from today, it might be a little too early to start talking to a lender. And if that's the case, I recommend that you try to calculate your DTI, which stands for debt to income ratio. When a lender is looking at you and your profile as a borrower, they want to see, of course, what your income is and what your debt is in order to help them find what your monthly budget for a new home should be. Depending on the type of loan, lenders generally want to see a DTI of about 40 to just under 50%. I'm not a lender, so I don't think those numbers are completely accurate if I'm being completely honest with you, but generally it does fall within that range. I think the highest percentages that most lenders will accept is about 49% debt. Again, not a lender, and I'm just gonna give you a very basic explanation of how this would work. So let's say you make $100 a month for easy math, and your car payment, if you have one, and your credit card payments, if you have that, add up to $10 a month, which is 10% of your income. So right now, with just your car payment and your other random debts that you may have, you're at 10% debt to income. Now, let's say you talk to the lender and the lender says, okay, you can spend $30 a month on your mortgage. So they look at your $100 a month with the 10% debts that you have to pay, along with that potential $30 mortgage, you are at $40 a month debt, which would put you at 40% debt to income. That's not very technical, but those are very easy numbers to hopefully help explain how to loosely calculate your debt to income. Because usually if it's over 49% or 50%, it's gonna be a lot tougher to help qualify you for a loan. So maybe if you are in that boat and you need to pay off some other debts, it might be a good time to start thinking about that before actually talking to a lender. And the reason the DTI and talking to a lender is important is because you're gonna know what price range of home you need to be looking in. Once you know the price range, you can really narrow in on different neighborhoods and what those options look like for you. Tip number 2, I guess you could say, is really narrowing in on your priorities. So think about what are the priorities for this home. For instance, there's a website that I really like called greatschools.org where you can go in and put in a neighborhood that you really like and see what the schools are rated for. Whether you have kids or not, maybe you just want a home that's gonna hold its value because it's got highly rated schools, you can see what your options are going to be in that area. Other priorities might be things like location, of course, commute to work. Is it close to grocery stores? Is it close to parks? Is it close to the things that you like to do? Those are all things to think about. Anytime I'm working with a new home buyer and they don't know what area they want to be in, we talk about what things they like to do. I have clients that are rock climbers and they want to be close to the rock climbing gym in Northeast Austin. I have clients that are homebodies and they just want a big house where they can have their coffee maker, they want a pool, and they can just stay at home and never leave their house again. And they might end up living somewhere like Georgetown or maybe way out in Dripping Springs where they have a whole ranch and tons of space to do whatever they want. So these are different things to think about because they will eventually affect where you end up. Point 3 to consider when thinking about what neighborhood to choose is what style of home do you like? Do you like something that's more cookie cutter, more master planned community, for instance? Terra Vista, for instance, is a golf course community, like I mentioned, and they have an HOA. The HOA is pretty active. They want to make sure that everybody's lawn is manicured. They want to maintain a very uniform look. Now, let's say on the other side of that, maybe you want to be in a neighborhood that has even more of a luxurious feel. However, each of the homes has its own unique style and no HOA. I would recommend somewhere like Tarrytown, which is located just west of downtown Austin, just north of Lake Austin. You see a huge variety of style of homes, anywhere from kind of these like beautiful new modern homes with like an infinity pool to these really cute little cottages that have been completely remodeled and are so adorable. For instance, somewhere like Tarrytown doesn't have an HOA, so you can kind of do whatever you want within reason as long as it's not bothering somebody else. So things to consider in the style of home and to know is that what you end up choosing or what you generally like could put you in one neighborhood versus another. Point 4 is something that we mentioned quickly just a moment ago, is basically location and commute to work. I have some clients that come, for instance, from California, and they're used to tons of traffic, and they don't mind commuting 45 minutes to go to their office every day. I also have clients that live in Central Austin, and they want to stay in that neighborhood because it's super close to not just their work, but everything that they like to do. So looking at your commute to work is going to be really important. You could be somebody that doesn't mind potentially driving longer, but if you're somebody that wants to be just a few minutes away from work, then that's going to affect the neighborhood that you end up in. So now we've come to tip number 5. And this is one that I think requires maybe a little bit more thought, but I always ask my home buyer clients what their goal is with this particular home. I ask them if they are planning on selling this home in 3 to 5 years. So do we need to be somewhere that's likely going to have maybe more appreciation, or is it going to be something that's quicker to sell? Something that's a little less custom and more marketable, for instance, or maybe it's a home that they want to rent out after just a couple of years. So if that's the strategy, then we need to be looking in neighborhoods that are more rentable and potentially a home that's going to be maybe lower maintenance as a landlord. However, the conversation tends to be different if it's somebody that's looking for something more long-term. For instance, somebody with a younger family, they've got little kids that are just starting school and they want to make sure their kids are in that home all the way through high school. Or it could be somebody that is about to retire and they want this to be their forever home. So it's more of a dream home type setup. So these are things that we need to ask ourselves in order to find out what type of neighborhoods we need to be in. I know I wove in probably more than 5 tips between all of that, but it is a lot to think about because ultimately we want to make sure that you're making the correct choice. The goal of this video was to help anybody that's thinking about moving anywhere in the country to narrow in on what neighborhoods might be best for you or for them or for you guys. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like this video or leave a comment so that I know that this is educational content, and I will continue to make videos just like this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Daphne Quay, your Boss Lady Realtor. Till next time.